looks like we're live. We'll get started in a minute. Glad to be back streaming after a couple week break. Alright, looks like it's 1 o'clock, so we'll get going. Let's turn off that giveaway link for now. Still works if you remember it, so not a big deal. But welcome guys, Black 6 back once again from BZPower. Like I said, took a couple week break, but we're back here building this lovely set. Continuing, I guess, the LEGO series based on the 1989 Tim Burton film, Batman. We've got the Batwing. When we built the Batmobile last year, I went back and rewatched that movie. I did not rewatch it again for this, because I remember it fairly well. Pretty much I remember enough to know that this vehicle is only in for like 1 or 2 scenes near the end. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh, he's been driving this car around all the time, but he also has a plane. I think if I had my own plane, I would fly that around more than I would drive a Batmobile around. But anyway, we're here to talk about the set. 2,363 pieces, retails for $200. It's got that lovely silhouette. I mean, you can kind of see it here on the box, but it is essentially shaped like the Batman logo. Brilliant piece of design work there by the designers for the film to make that look as cool as it does. I don't know how plausible of a design that would be, how aerodynamically feasible, if those wings could actually generate sufficient lift, but hey, this is a series about a guy who is a big fan of bats. So, yeah, it really looks cool. I love that they're kind of really honing in on that logo shape with this box image. Of course, as we'll be able to see, you can actually hang this on a wall, so it kind of alludes to that beforehand. If we flip the box around, you can see it in landing position, so you kind of get a better idea of the shape. You can see like the flaps here, the machine guns on here. That's another thing about this vehicle, is that, like, you know, everyone it's always like Batman isn't a fan of guns, but this Batwing is fully loaded with like machine guns and missiles and all this other stuff. But whatever, not a big deal. It is what it is. I'm not gonna judge too much on a 32-year-old film at this point. We can see at the bottom here that the model is about 50 centimeters or almost 20 inches long, almost 10 inches high. It comes with a stand in addition to the wall mount, and much like the 1989 Batmobile, has this little figure stand here for the Joker, Batman, and one of the Joker's goons with his boombox there. Love that the little gargoyles are making a return, that nice kind of gothic style that Tim Burton gave to the film. Hey Mavlock, hey Pohatron. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, the LEGO Batman story. If you listen to the Bits and Bricks podcast, where a couple of guys talk about like the history of LEGO video games, the most recent episode they did was about Marvel superheroes. But kind of as part of that, they were talking about Batman and the poor timing of the first LEGO Batman video game, because, like, you know, LEGO Batman was some of the first superhero sets. That is a lot of parts. That's a lot of yellow right there. I'll take a look at that in a sec. It was like one of the first superhero themes, I guess, that LEGO did. I forget where that kind of timed in with the original Spider-Man. but then like those sets went off the market for a while, and while they were off the market was when the Lego Batman video game came out. So like kids are playing this game, they want Lego Batman sets, but there aren't any available for sale. Man, what is that all about? All that yellow. So yeah, it was kind of weird. Like these days, with DC and Marvel being such kind of perennial sets in the Lego lineup, like thinking about, oh yeah, there was a time when there like weren't any Lego superhero sets for sale. And so those like early waves, I can definitely see having some nostalgia for them. I mean, I'm not sure, Kohatron, how this compares to actual bats in the world, because I know vampire bats and some other species can get really large, so I don't know if this is bigger or smaller than those. It's been a while since I've been to a zoo and looked at a bat exhibit, I guess. Alright, so we've got the bag numbers go up to 13, lucky number 13 for Batman. But most of them do appear, well, maybe not most, but quite a few have multiple bags per number, and not all. Sorting through these. I definitely don't think we're going to be building all of this set today. So we'll be back next weekend, most likely, to finish. Now actually the most parts in any bag seems to be bag 1, but a lot of that is these Technic frames that we'll take a closer look at. Alright, so we've got our instruction manual, not a whole lot of stickers, mainly the big display plaque. We'll look at those more closely when we open them. As far as non-numbered bags, we've got like 3. This one is mainly Technic beams and some large plates. This one more Technic beams and some wider large plates, as well as the display plaque. And then the canopy pieces. Looks like 5 canopy pieces in trans black, all of their own special bag, which is really nice because I feel like it's been becoming more common. I don't know if it's because of a changing in the plastic formula that they're using for the transparent parts, but I know I've seen more reports of people getting their canopy pieces all scratched when they come out of the box. So by packaging it separately, that definitely reduces that risk. So kudos to Lego there. Alright, let's take a closer look at our instructions and our stickers here. While they are bagged separately, it did still get a little curved, but not folded at least. So here's our sticker sheet. Batwing 1989. You can go up to 1,400 miles per hour. That's like almost Mach 2, I feel like. Length 18 feet long, height 6 feet with landing gear. Engines, weapons, and then what does this one say? There's a sticker here that says Bat Engine, because what other kind of engine it would be. And it looks like a lot of the other ones are going to be the inside details in the cockpit, little dials and switches and a little radar piece and stuff like that. So a lot of interior details. So if you're like one of those people who's not a fan of stickers, I'm not sure why you wouldn't put stickers on a big set like this. But hey, to each their own. But you could probably leave out most of those stickers and the set would still look pretty fantastic from the outside. Then the instruction manual itself, very, very thick. Let's see, it's 363 pages, so I'm sure we'll have a little bit of background on here. Letter from Batman to the citizens of Gotham City. It's a really cool little shot there of the Batwing in front of the moon replicating. I think there's a scene in the movie where it does that, where it flies straight up in front of the moon because of cinematics. Tim Burton definitely has an eye for that. We're seeing the actual set vehicle from the movie. You know, for what did I say it was? It's like 18 feet long. It really isn't that big when you're considering a supersonic jet. It is not a very big vehicle in the film. And again, it does not have a lot of screen time either. The design process. I'm definitely really excited to see how they get all like these curves and angles, especially on the wings. Adam Grabowski, the designer, talking a little bit about the process. The Batwing movie model isn't actually isn't very detailed, but its shape is what gives it life. So it's important to get that right. So it definitely looks like they got the shape right from a high level, looking at the box at least. Took a few creative liberties with the cockpit, since I guess you can't actually see the inside of the cockpit in the film. Okay. Oh, we got a little background from the graphic designer, Iona Popescu. Probably mispronouncing that, apologies. But the person who designs all the stickers and the minifigures, which I believe probably at least the Joker and the Goon are unique to the set. I assume the Batman is probably the same as the one in the previous Batmobile. Oh, speaking of which, you can see them side by side. Maybe I'll bring up the Batmobile next week when we finish up this set, so you can kind of see them both side by side and see the minifigures. All right, movie model, ready for takeoff. All right, and we get to the build. So you can see the first bag. All those Technic frames are really there to make the core structure of the set. Very normal technique we've kind of become accustomed to in these larger models. They really like those Technic frames. You can see we've got a couple different sizes of them. We got the 6x8 and the 4x6. Which can handily go inside each other. I'm not sure how useful it is for a lot of building techniques, but can do it. We've got a bag full of friction pins. Looks like the other bag has a bag full of 3-module friction pins. Maybe just actually leave those out since they're already sorted. Yep, there's our 3-length friction pins. The first bag is probably going to be pretty straightforward since it looks like it's mostly just attaching things together with pins. Oh, there's a batarang hiding in here as well. I can dig that out. All right, let's go ahead and get our picture-in-picture camera ready. That up. All right. Let's start building a Batwing. Well, we've got our brick separator, orange this time. Still have not emptied this cup out recently. There we go. So start out building Batman. Again, we'll have to double check to see how he compares to the other. He might have a different head from the Batmobile Batman, but he's got those rippling muscles molded into his suit, his utility belt, the white stripe for the eyes, serious face, and then he's got, of course, this one-piece rubber cowl that I'm sure is the same as it was in the other set. It definitely looks like it's the same, and it pops on there. And he's got the white eyes from that headband, and he's got his grin coming through, so Batman can watch over as we build his Batmobile. Well, and just as I said, I'm not sure what the use is of putting one frame inside the other, and that is literally the first step here. So I guess there's some use to it. I guess it adds some additional rigidity to things, but let's see if there are other uses, maybe just to have more surface area to attach things onto later. So we've taken a couple weeks off the past 2 weeks since we finished Ninjago City. What has everyone been up to? Anything cool going on? As I teased on some pictures online, we did build the Discovery Space Shuttle in the past couple weeks to do a review of that instead of a live build. Because I had Michael, aka Kayapu, over. We're both fully vaccinated, so no issues there. And it was just he and I building the shuttle, having a good time catching up. I was actually supposed to go visit him in March of last year, and then a little pandemic happened, so it was good to finally catch up with him again. Probably maybe a lot of you aren't too familiar with him, but he has done some reviews for us recently of some large Technic cars. He did the Bugatti and the Lamborghini, and he will be doing another one, not a Technic car, but another review in the coming months. Plus the one he did with me on the Discovery. So it was a lot of fun to build that set. You guys will get to see that in a little bit, as soon as I'm able to actually edit everything together. Definitely a lot of video footage to go through, and I've been kind of busy. We had like all the Lego Masters stuff going on with that new season starting. I've been working on interviews with that. We got the Will Arnett one up, but we'll have more with different contestants coming up soon. Hopefully soon. I have to go check in with some people about that and when we're going to be posting those. But it was definitely really good to talk to all those people. I'm looking forward to the new season of the show. You know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I definitely enjoyed the first season a lot, and looking forward to the second season. Definitely watching the first episode, there is some fierce competition. There's also definitely a few contestants there. I'm like, all right, they're probably not too long for this world, which is kind of funny because in talking to them and interviewing them, my intuition, I guess we'll say, from interviewing them did not line up with how they performed on that first episode. So we'll see. You know, obviously the first episode is a learning experience for a lot of them, right? The very first episode, learning to deal with the clock, which is obviously a big factor that people aren't used to building with in their personal lives. So we'll see how things shape up in the second episode, but definitely looking forward to that. And speaking of building competitions, there's a couple going on right now. The Bio Cup has started up again. Always happy to see that. BZPower supporting again by providing some prizes, and should be doing some showcases of some entries. Hopefully we'll have our first one up tomorrow. I think Jason is working on that. So I've already seen some fantastic entries for the preliminary round, let alone when you guys really get building. And of course, we've also got for Pride Month, there's the Rainbow Building Challenge going on. We did not start that. That is the folks at Tricky Bricks, kind of one of the key people, Richard and Flynn from the first season of Lego Masters, kind of have kicked off that Rainbow Building Challenge, and we're just kind of being like, hey, this seems cool, let's give away some prizes to go along with it. So you should check that out as well, and get some free Lego. Aha, almost screwed that up. trying to get CZQ to make Pride one of the themes for BioCup, but I don't know if he's bought into that or not yet. And you know, to be fair, that is entirely his and his team's contest. I don't have any input on any of those decisions. I was just be like, hey, we're doing this challenge. That'd be cool if it could coincide with the BioCup, but just it would be cool, not a you need to do this. Oh, we've got the hanger piece coming up in this bag. So this is, I forget if this might have actually first appeared in the set or at the same time, close in time to when the mosaic sets appeared. This is what they use in the mosaics to hang it, those on the wall. And of course, as we saw, the Batwing can hang on the wall too. I've not decided yet if I'm going to hang mine on the wall. Certainly an option. Certainly something I would consider. Because I do have the Batmobile sitting on a coffee table in my living room right now. And it's like, it kind of would be cool to hang this like above that coffee table on the wall. So we'll see. So you can see, as LEGO likes to do in these larger sets, that we're doing some color coding here with green on one side and red on the other. That I'm sure will help later on to easily determine where we're attaching pieces to, so you can keep things oriented properly. Maybe a slight bit of criticism, since red-green color blindness is one of the most prevalent forms of color blindness. Maybe they should have pick some different shades there, but you know, just a thought. So what other LEGO news has dropped in the past couple weeks? I guess the world map. I don't know if that had been officially announced. We did our last stream, so that's coming out, or is out, I guess. Not overly excited about that one personally. Just kind of like I wasn't too excited about the mosaics in general. Definitely some good parts there, but I'm really not a fan of the design of the map. And you know, the focus on the oceans Not that the oceans aren't important, but you know, I think when I want to look at a map, I want to look at like the countries and get an idea of like their terrain and stuff, not the depths of the oceans necessarily. Alright, so we've built all this, which is kind of starting to see that the shape there, right? This is probably gonna be like the tail, and we got the wings coming out here. And we get to make something that is going to be, looks like almost just as long as that, and I guess is gonna probably attach on this edge here. And I guess there's been some other sets that have appeared a little earlier maybe than they're supposed to. But they were on you know, like Amazon and other sites, so some new Star Wars and Marvel sets that are going to be coming out. I'm definitely excited about a lot of those new Star Wars sets. I think they picked the right eras to base it off of and the right shows. Definitely got my attention there with that. Getting some late season Clone Wars sets, some more Mandalorian sets. Definitely good choices there. Excited to get a Moff Gideon and a Dark Trooper minifig. And then that new Iron Man set from the What If series is definitely interesting. Makes me more curious about that show. Yeah, I was gonna watch it already anyway. But this just makes me more curious. Can't wait for, I think August is when it's scheduled to come out. Well, I guess in other news, in addition to the Bio Cup and the Rainbow Challenge, also kicked off finally the 2021 convention circuit. So I'm definitely excited about that. About going to conventions again. At least 2 conventions this year that look like are going to happen. I know Brick World Chicago, not happening. Bricks Cascade, not happening. I know there is an event in Texas going on. That is the weekend before Brick Fair, Virginia. So that did not work out for me timing-wise. So we got Brick Fair, Virginia, Brick Fair, New Jersey. BrickCon in Seattle has not officially announced one way or another what they are doing yet. So I'm hoping that they have an event, and if so, I might make the trip out there. It's been a long time since I've been to a BrickCon. Have been to Seattle again since the last time I was at BrickCon, but I always love going to the Pacific Northwest. batarangs now that we can give to Batman. If BritCon happens, I don't know if that will end up being a convention circuit event or not. I'll have to see. Obviously, that would require some additional cost probably to get all of the mocks there, whether in luggage fees or shipping, but don't want to write off the possibility immediately. I also have to see how that goes. You have to see if the event's even going to happen first. Hey there, Sawjig. Yeah, I was definitely looking forward to this set for a while before I finally was able to get it. Definitely looking forward to this build. Can't think of many other sets available right now that I had my eye on more other than that space shuttle, which I already got. That's definitely the biggest one. I'd say also looking forward to getting my hands on that portion on 11 at some point. That looks like a fun set, but this one I think for me is more iconic. Alright, getting that shape a lot stronger now. We've got the two sets of frames with Technic beams in between them. So we're going to have a nice sturdy foundation to base off of. It's already starting to get a little big for our work surface here though. But once we get some of these bags out of here, I'm sure that'll give us plenty of space to work. I'm trying to think of what other sets have come out or been announced recently that I'm excited for. Other than like the super big ones, like that UCS Millennium Falcon or something, I don't think there's a whole lot. The Daily Bugle looks like a nice set or a cool set. Wouldn't mind getting that. We might get that and do a stream of it eventually. But honestly, I feel like just like with a lot of the Marvel sets, I always feel like they are more about the minifigures than they are about like the actual builds. Right, because I mean, Marvel, like and a lot of superheroes in general, you know, the focus is on the characters, not necessarily the vehicles and stuff. He says as he's building a superhero set. But I think things like the Batmobile are the exception more than the rule. You know, if you wanted to build or if Lego wanted to design like an 18+ Superman set, you know what would they do? The Fortress of Solitude, like you know, that would be a cool set to look at, but not as like iconic, I guess, as something like a Batmobile. And so yeah, like Superman and Iron Man and Captain America don't quite have those instantly recognizable things, I think, that other things like Star Wars maybe has. So while the Daily Bugle seems cool and all, it doesn't really like get me super excited. What else is there that's out? There's definitely some other sets out there that I want to get my hands on. Some of the new like Star Wars helmet sets. I think that's definitely a good place for Marvel and DC to do. And of course both of those have some sets as well. Venom, Carnage, Iron Man, 2 Batmen with saw that we're getting a 1960s Adam West Batman helmet set. Although I'm not sure how you do that with Superman. Looks like we're getting close to being done with our first bag. Alright, time to install the hanger piece. So that is going here. Interesting that we've got these axles with stops that we're putting in here, but they're not actually attached to anything. There's no actual axle hole, it's just a pinhole, so they kind of move in and out freely. I assume we're going to put like a beam or something on top of this. It'll lock them in. It'll add to the strength. I guess that will make it kind of stronger than if you just had like a 3-length Technic pin or something, so just interesting to note. Alright, I think that is it for bag 1. And either I missed a Technic pin somewhere, or they actually give you 2 extras. Maybe because of the high quantity of Technic pins, end up getting 2 extras. You can start seeing the shape here. And like I said, nice and strong. Hold that with one hand, and you can see there's very little bend or give to it, so definitely props to the designers there. I think we need to move these bags back a little bit so we have some more space to work here. And we'll open up our second bag. Got lots of plates. And some smaller elements here as well. But apparently also are going to need these large, what are they, like 8 by 16 plates this section. Yeah, 8 by 16. It looks like we're actually going to spend most of it with the set, or the build flipped upside down, so you can put all these plates on the bottom. I think I need to spend a couple minutes actually sorting some of these plates, because as we all know, Batman only works in black, and when you have a tray full of nothing but black pieces, it's hard to find the ones you need. Especially when most of them are plates that are very close in size to each other. So I'd say this section is definitely going to be pretty important to make sure that you're getting all of these plates attached fully, because otherwise it's going to affect the final model a bit and make things potentially a little curvy or wavy. So you got to make sure you push down nice and evenly. Get all of the studs attached. And at some point I'll probably flip it over and push down from the top as well to really make sure that things are fully attached. Got some nice wedge plates that we're using here. I think this one on the left, this 4 by 6 one, is more recent than the older one. Kind of nice to have a different angle. I'm sure the designers were very glad to get that here as well. Well, they had that in their inventory that they could call upon. Well, the instructions aren't telling me to do so. I'm trying to do both the left and the right side. It looks like pretty much everything in this set is going to be completely symmetric, so you can save time for yourself by doing the mirroring yourself as you build. this is a new piece to me. It's like a 2x6 plate. It also is a snot bracket. Like I know there's that 2x6 piece that's like kind of 2 plates tall. At least in the middle, has like the 4 stud section in the middle that's 2 plates tall, and then has the snot pieces. But this is, I think, probably a better design overall. Kind of matches with the snot bracket pieces they have. Very interesting. Not sure when that piece started to come out in sets, but that's the first time I think I've seen it. Alright, these 8x16 plates again. I want to make sure you get them attached fully. Save you hassle and headache later on. R2. So R2-D2 just jumped off little shelves I have off to the side here. I'll have to reassemble him after the stream today. I used to have, there was a box over there to catch him, but I guess that got moved. You'd think if it happened so often I'd put him somewhere else, but I guess I just haven't found a good enough place for him yet. So in addition to those new snot plates I was showing off, we've got a bunch of the more traditional 1x2 ones that are going along the front edge here. We actually have the new ones in tan as well. So you can see that like these have the exact same profile. So as far as like how high up they go, the studs on the front being hollow, it's all the same, just that this one is a bigger base. So I'm sure that is useful for many things. Definitely interesting to see pieces in tan going in when pretty much everything else we're doing in this bag is in black. But you know, we're still at the point where I expect pretty much everything to be covered up eventually. Maybe not all these black plates, but enough of the other stuff that's around. I think by the time we're done with this bag here, we're going to have essentially a big flat Batman logo. Alright, now to the other side. Oh wait, we already did all that. Alright, so we're at the point where we can flip it over. So, definitely seeing that Batman shape. Obviously we need some more work up here, but otherwise, definitely looking pretty good. And I actually get to flip this around. Take this opportunity to push down all along these Technic frames. Make sure I've got everything attached. You can see nice and flat, which is exactly what we want there. Oh, alright, we're already almost done. Kind of snuck up on me there. Let's go ahead, put up our giveaway link. So we've got some sets to give out today. Can head on over to that link and enter for a chance to win some of them. Or I guess to win one of them. Each person can only win once per stream. Alright, there we are. After 2 bags. That's going to be the tail, that's going to be the front. It's already very swooshable. Hey there, Darth Dorcas. Yes, indeed, we are on Twitch. Alright. Give everyone a few minutes to go ahead and enter that giveaway. I'm going to get our parts ready for bag 3, and then we'll pick first winner of the day. I've got this yellow bag. Lots of yellow 2x6 bricks. I mean, I suppose, like, when I think of 1980s to 1990s Batman, I do think of it as having a yellow, black and yellow color scheme versus, like, the Adam West 60s Batman that was more blue and gray. Oh, thank you, Darth Dorcas, for the subscription. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Or for being a subscriber, I guess. Alright. Lots of plates here. Let's go ahead and sort out some of these large ones so they're not in my way later. Alright, turn off the giveaway link for now, and let's go ahead and pick our first winner for today. Alright, what is broken here? something stupid, I remember last time, that we had to fix. Yeah, that's what it is. Alright, let's see if that makes it work. Yep, there we go. Alright, Makuta LaRocca, congratulations, won a Baze Malbus buildable figure. Good old Star Wars Rogue One, or I guess Rogue One, a Star Wars story, to be more accurate. Pretty interesting set. Hopefully you enjoy it. Alright, on to bag 3. Thinking with, trying to plan to get halfway today, plan to get through bag 7. And that way, next week, we finish 7 bags this week, and then we only have 6 bags to do next week. That gives us some extra time to show off the final model, maybe bring in the 1989 Batmobile to show it off with. So we'll see if I can actually accomplish that today. Hey there, Mucus Drizzle. Things are doing alright over here. How about you? Just building a Batwing. Alright, kind of interesting. So now we're going to be filling in all of these Technic frames, and that's what a lot of these yellow bricks are going to be used for. And a handful of tan and dark gray as well. The tan makes sense because they're 2x4s instead of 2x6. I'm a little curious about the dark gray. Maybe those will be something that you'll be able to like see in the final model. Like I remember seeing that there is a part with like a lot of those grill tiles, so maybe those are going to go on top of these dark gray, kind of give a little bit of texture and color variation. Alright, yeah, pretty much just filling in all these spots. Yeah, considering how small the Batplane looks in the movie, this is definitely shaping up to be quite a large set. Like having seen actual, jet fighters in person, those things are huge. This thing not so much. Alright, this thing was not solid before, it is now, with all those extra bricks to... just got a lot heavier, too. It's gonna be a chunker, that's for sure. Now, snot brackets for days. It's one of those steps where I'm not gonna even bother counting them. One extra. Did I miss it, or is that going to go like up at the tip? You know, one thing about this set that like they didn't really show off in the packaging or anything, which looks like it maybe because it doesn't exist, is like play features or something. I just realized I put these plates on one stud off. Brick separator to the rescue. Yeah, I'm not sure that there are going to be many play features in this set. Like the I guess the Batmobile set doesn't have a whole lot, but it does have the guns that pop up. I think the steering works on that, and has the cool cockpit that opens up. So kind of interesting that they didn't put like really much of anything in this one, other than like you can hang it on a wall. push these down too good. Brick separator can't do it. Try another brick separator with a slightly fresher tip. These tips do wear down, especially when you're doing stuff like this. There we go. This is how you know you did a good job of pushing down on the plates. Careful about placing these plates this time. And my theory about the dark gray ones having grill tiles is debunked. Proven false. Wait, actually, slight error in the instructions looks like. No, it looks like there will be one grill tile. But on the instructions it shows yellow studs coming through. Well, that's interesting. Then the next one it shows gray. So, not sure how well you'll be able to see. But right there on that page, there's yellow coming through the grill tile. On the next page, it is gray. Kind of weird, like, how that could happen, assuming they're basing each step on the previous one. Obviously not a big deal, just confusing things. Like, of course, those are the things I pay attention to in noticing instructions, not that I'm putting a plate on one stud off and then have to use 3 brick separators to remove it. Alright, doing all that stuff I've already done. Flipping this around. Alright, looks like this will be just about it for bag 3. Well, looks like I might be missing a piece. I'll have to go double check the bags. Usually when you're missing a piece, it just got stuck in the bag. Hanging around there. Alright, I've only got these 4 plates to put on, so we'll go attach those. Give it a nice clean edge, connect the 2 sets of snot brackets here. That's really going to make things solid. Alright, now let's check our bags. I did notice one of the bags that I opened looked like it already had a slight hole in it. So there's actually a chance that the part is missing. And I'm not seeing it hiding in the corners of any of the bags. It's a little bit of a bummer. Double check the box if there's a hole in the bag. Maybe got stuck under the box flap. Nope, doesn't look like it. I didn't see it hanging around the table. So thankfully it's a normal, fairly common part of that little snot bracket. I think I should have one that I can go grab from my personal collection to use, so I'll be right back. Let me go find one of those and grab it. Alright, thankfully, you get a nice common piece that I happen to have in my collection. Easily findable. No harm done. Alright, on to bag 4. The R2-D2 who crashed, however, there's a lot of harm done there. That is going to take a while to clean up and reassemble. We got some hearts in here. I think that was a little Easter egg that was mentioned in the Batwing designer video. There's a little Easter egg with the heart pieces. And the last of those plates in this bag. I like how we build Batman at the very beginning. I'm curious when we build the Joker and his goon. But before we really get going here, so it looks like, oh, and there's the bracket. It was hiding under the Batwing. All right, unless I just knocked it off. Nope. All right, so no missing parts. I was just dumb. Thought I looked around at everything, but all right. So here we've got this so far. Let's go ahead and turn off our picture-in-picture for a sec. So again, nice and solid, still very heavy at this point with all those bricks and plates. But it looks like in bag 4 here, we're going to be working on making it even more Batman logo shape. We're going to be adding the curves here and up here, and I guess fleshing out the tips of the wings here. So definitely by the end of our build today, I think we'll have that iconic Batman logo, even if we don't have all of the specific details just yet. As we work on, looks like it's going to be these arches. They are going to be identical between the two sides. Just, obviously we'll be flipping one over at the end. So very nice of them to tell us that in advance so we can build both of them together. Lots of these inverted arch pieces. To get those nice swooping curves of the Batman logo. Yeah, at some point we are getting a new Batman movie, aren't we? Isn't that still a thing with the actor from Twilight, whose name's escaping me right now? It's one of those things where, you know, COVID happened and I just kind of lost track of so many different movies that were being developed. I'm very behind in general on my DC movie watching, so I'm not going to be in any hurry to see a new Batman movie. Which is kind of funny because I dig the Batman TV shows, even the ones that no one else likes. Like, well, I guess most of the recent ones people aren't really wild about. But I enjoyed and watched all of Gotham, and I've been watching Pennyworth as that comes out, and I enjoyed both. Pennyworth is going to be interesting this next season because he's finally leaving England and going to America. But definitely been an interesting take on the characters of both of those shows. Kind of like, so you know how Batman's supposed to be. What if we were in 60s London and there was a civil war? Alright, so here's our first curve pieces here. Those lovely inverted arches and some big slopes. Definitely a very thick profile on the wing though. Not something you really can see in a lot of the box shots, just like how thick the fuselage here is. These attached to all those snot brackets we were putting in before, including the one I thought I lost or was missing. Alright, look at that. Definitely Batman logo E. Alright, now we get to flesh out the tips of the wings here. Oh, like where's that plate? Now looks like I have to make the top arches. Alright, there's our next set of curves. These get to go on the front leading edge. Oh, what if I didn't forget some pieces? I think I need a clamp to make sure I get these attached well. Wow, yeah, this thing is definitely shaping up to be quite large. And in addition to the hanger on the bottom, so you've got a hole remaining where the stand will go eventually. Alright, now I'd write down. Looks like I think we're going to be doing two of. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Yep. Alright, we're going to actually just push that off to there for now. Get working on this. So these are going to be the front wing tips here that we are currently still missing. Got our lovely heart plates right from the Lego movie. I think they mention in the designer video that, you know, they kind of say tongue-in-cheek, oh, it's because we love Batman. But more realistically, it's because they essentially needed an L-shaped plate, and you know that mold does the trick. As we build around this, I'll kind of show to see why, like the geometrically wise, why they wanted to do that. All right. I think that's more just for the geometry rather than any particular love of Batman. All right, yeah, so you can see that heart there, and if they used a 3x3 plate, it wouldn't have that little indentation to put in this half this triangle tile. And if they use like a 2x3 and a 2x2, it just wouldn't have been as strong. So you'd have had the 2x3 covering here, and the 1x2, yeah, right, 1x2 would have been over there, and it just would have made that connection a little weaker. So, you know, they could have done it with a 2x3 and a 1x2, but this kind of worked out to make the construction a little stronger. And then, you know, cute little Easter egg as you're building, you're like, oh, a heart. Very solid construction, all thanks to that heart piece. All right, looks like we're getting close to being finished with bag 4 here. So I think once I'm done with this little sub-assembly that I'm working on, we'll put up our giveaway link again. As a reminder, if you entered earlier, do not need to enter again. Oop. Where did that piece go? Oh, here's a cool technique. So we've got these inverted 1x2x3 slopes, but yeah, they've got those anti-studs on the back, and yeah, this piece has been around for a long time, since the 80s at least. But here's a situation where we're actually putting some plates in there, and the way the geometry works out, right, we're like half a plate shy of lining up, but that's okay, because then we're taking a snot bracket, which happens to be half a plate thick, and that makes it perfectly flush along the back. That is not something that you could have done in the 80s with those parts. Love when they have you build something and it's like, oh yeah, it'll just stand up, but really it starts getting like top heavy, so the slightest nudge is gonna make it fall. Ahead. Put that giveaway link back up. Yeah, so in addition to that one snot bracket, we've also used a couple of these kind of like T inverted snot brackets. And those line up, let's see, where's the piece? Just kind of perfectly with all of these plates that we've got here. Sure I'm doing this right. It doesn't look like I am. Something's off here. I think this plate is one stud off. There we go. Alright, now that assembly with those snot brackets attaches and gives a nice inside angle there. That maybe you could have done with like 1x4 slopes just attached, but I don't know that it would have been like quite the same angle or that it would have fit, especially here because you'd have had a stud at the end right there if you had done it with a 1x4 slope. Double check my instructions previously to see if I didn't miss a piece. Oh, yes, I did miss a step there. That's why those plates were off. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be able to see that. And that probably would have affected that heart plate as well, and how that goes on there. So, all the more reason that we had the heart plate instead of a different one. Alright, looks like we are just about done with these little wing tips. At least for now. Definitely looks like we're going to be adding on more to them after they are fully attached. Alright, wingtip, and then that is going to connect to those two Technic pins. Oh, and also the studs from this curve will connect onto here, so double the structural connection. Of course, trying to do this one-handed. A lot of fun there. Nice. All right. Really getting that bat signal look. Just got 2 more parts to add to really lock those in, so you can't just pull them off accidentally. And, well, I'm done with bag 4. The instructions aren't, because I did both wingtips at once. All right, there we go. Just go ahead, open up bag 5. And then we'll pick our second winner for today. Oh, we've got a little cardboard box. Wonder if that's got like string or rubber bands or some sort of fabric piece. We've got our first printed part. We've got the Batman logo on a 2x2 tile. I don't think that's going to be visible in the final model, but we'll see. All right, let's take off giveaway link and find winner number 2. All right, Mucus Drizzle, congratulations. You've won a Han Solo buildable figure. Definitely a solid figure. I don't think he got nearly as much love as he could being in the last or the second to last wave. Has some very unique parts in there, but he was kind of came out as the buildable figures were on their way out, so not quite as much attention maybe as he could have gotten. But congrats. You'll get an email, get your address, and then send you a prize. Oh, interesting. We may have some asymmetry coming up here. So we're doing some, just the camera here, some greebling along the inside edge of this wing. It says we need 3 1x1 round bricks. So I was looking for 6, so I could do 3 on one side and 3 on the other, but there appear to be only 5, unless I'm blind. So I'm going to assume that things are not going to be perfectly symmetric between the 2 sides. We'll see if that thought is confirmed or denied later on. But I guess for now, we'll just follow the instructions and do one side at a time. Some of this detail work, maybe it's not too bad of an idea to do it, excuse me, one side at a time anyway, so. Or maybe we're only doing one side of the wing, and then the next bag, bag 6, will be this side. So many possibilities. So it's definitely interesting that I don't know that any of the pictures really showed off any greebling along the inside edge of the wing. I certainly don't know if the actual model on the screen had anything like that. Like I said, it really does not. If you haven't seen the movie in a while, it does not have a lot of screen time. Trying to attach these while not really being able to see what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, okay, so it looks like most of the rest of the bag. So this yellow stuff, it does look like it's going to be covered up because we're going to be making the edging that goes all around here with a whole bunch of hinge plates. So there's some hinge plates in here. So all is going to get covered up. And yeah, I assume bag 5 we're doing this side, and bag 6 we're going to do the other. And so that's probably going to be mean we're going to have a rubber band here. Yeah, so there's a couple rubber bands that are going to attach on here somehow. All right, this should be interesting. So I think that means we can push you back for a little bit. Give me a little more room to work with. That is the wrong plate. So we're going to have lots of 2x2 inverted slopes and 2x2 slopes to make that kind of smooth leading edge. Now, I guess in theory would be generating lift on the Batwing. Again, I don't know if it is aerodynamically possible. Wonder if anyone ever did that as like a thesis statement for an aeronautical engineering degree. And ergo, the Batwing from Tim Burton's 1989 film would actually not have enough lift to be able to leave the ground. I'm curious to see how repetitive or not this section gets. Especially since we know when I'm done here, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. So we need to get our rubber bands out. There's 2 little guys there, at least for this box. Yeah, so far this isn't too repetitive. And I imagine things like, adding a little rubber band stuff in is gonna keep it from getting so. The thing that's gonna suck is when I get to bag 6 and you know, I have things kind of divided in my 3 trays here as I'm building based on the bags. All those parts are going to be in different bags. So I'm going to be like, all right, I'm used to finding this part in the bag with these other parts. Nope, that's in a different bag now. So just as you're get used to one pattern. Like, yeah, that would be too easy to put the same pieces in the same bag. Alright, so a rubber band here is attaching to these 2 little 1x1 plates with the bars. So it'll keep it nice and captured in there after we put some of these slopes on top. There you go, so now that's not going anywhere. Definitely shaping up to be a really interesting build here. Right, like it's nice and straight, but it's got all these hinge plates in it there, so I can wrap around the edge of the wing. Should definitely be quite the sight when it is done and attached. so there is the Batman tile about to be covered up. Looks like it's gonna be pretty much just there as like a spacer for when we attach this big snake to the edge. Alright, which we get to do now. Alright, so the whole thing kind of flattens out. And we can attach on here, make sure I line that up right, obviously. One stud off, yeah, that looks good. Alright, and it's like the big missile launcher on the side of the Batwing, right? No, but this wraps around and we've got a few different parts here, so let's see how well I think. Yeah, let's see if we can just show it off on our picture-in-picture. Let's actually swap. Let's see, we've got the picture-in-picture as the big camera here, of course. New picture-in-picture's in the way. Alright, there we go. Alright, so you can see how this thing attaches. So you've got this rubber band. Has to kind of wrap around this little tap piece, like a little water faucet kind of thing. I feel like my fingers are too big to really get this to do it. I'm gonna try like leaning it forward. No, it's not fully attached. Lean it forward like just a little bit there. Alright, we're gonna have to try to use the X-Acto knife method. Now, X-Acto knife, yes, it's a sharp blade, but the back of it is not sharp. So if I'm careful enough, ta-da! So that was fun. And then we have a little clip over here that attaches to the other tap. So the back edge here is now pretty firmly attached, although pieces are breaking off. Alright, so that apparently is the better way to do it. It's just to detach this piece from the wing, maybe. And then you can wrap that around and then reattach that piece. Alright, that was a much quicker way of doing that. Alright, now get to do the front edge here. Oh, before we do that, a couple parts there to help lock that in place. So the reason we're doing all this little greebling is for places for the rubber bands to attach to, having the round element here so there's no square edges to make these kind of smoother to attach to. Okay, so it wants us to actually do quite a bit more work on the back here before we attach the front. So let's go ahead and actually do that. I suppose like this will keep things from falling apart back here while we work on the front, so you don't have to worry about that rubber band popping out again. And yeah, it's really like that. They're like super flush up against that there, so that's really cool. Now, this would be a lot easier if I didn't have the bags back there, so this thing could be lying flat. But I don't feel like moving them, so I just have to deal with it. Fantastic. Now we get to work on here. Alright, so one thing, we've got this headlight brick over here, and we've got this this little piece right here, which is one of these guys. I've seen it called the espresso part, a 1x1 plate with a bar. And I think that is supposed to go into this headlight brick. Easier said than done, but also this rubber band has to wrap around these two pieces here this time, which means even more fun to do. So I'm going to try to do it like they say. Alright, that one was actually a little easier. Although the rubber band is supposed to be between these two 1x1 round plates, not on top. So you can actually, there we go. Maybe. Yeah, yes, alright, so you gotta make sure you get it between those two so you can actually put a plate on top of that. And now as for this guy, I'm gonna just pop off the little headlight brick here and attach that to the plate with the bar. And then kind of move it back. And that is a lot easier than doing it the other way around, I think. Alright, so now we just got a couple more plates to put in. I'm going to see if I can get this lying flat again. We'll move this over here so you can see those go in. And you can see just how smooth that edge is there. It does have, you know, we've got these little kind of gaps and like cracks in the outside edge, but when as it comes, you know, from here, it's looks really good. Just maybe a little more of a gap there. That's probably because I didn't push this in as far. There we go. You got to make sure you push that little headlight brick and that 1x1 plate with the handle together. And yeah, all right. So let's switch back to our main view. Move our camera, this camera out of the way for a sec, so you can kind of see the full effect on one side, well, not quite there on the other, but definitely helping us get that Batman logo look. And now we get to do all of that over again in bag 6. And as I suspected, the parts are distributed differently in the bags. The first one, bag 5, was nice because the 2x2 inverted curve slopes and the 2x2 curve slopes were in separate bags. So if I wanted one or the other, it was really easy to find them almost by feel. This time around, they're in the same bag. So I already see that as going to be a big pain in the butt. Alright, so got to do a little bit of work on the wing edge, like I did last time, to get it ready. prep work is done. Okay, once again, push you to the back so we can get to work on the curvy edge. Let's open up a rubber band, so over it later. Alright, so nothing cool to show off because we've already done this all. So what should we talk about? Got anything you'd like to hear my thoughts on, or any subjects? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise I'll probably end up talking about Star Wars or something, so be warned. Gave you an out. Man, no one is very talkative today. I guess one nice thing about having to do this whole process all over again is that having done it once already, at least pretty much know everything they're going to throw at us here. No surprises this time around. Alright, time to attach this bad boy. Let's condense our pieces a little bit. We're going to put up the giveaway link again, maybe. Switch to our webcam view. So again, especially if you missed it before, you can see how this edge goes on, because it's definitely the coolest part so far of this build. I'm going to try the cheat I accidentally discovered last time by just disconnecting that plate. Looping that on. Make sure that goes under there. Again. Reattach. Clip on. All right. Next up should be putting filler in here. What if I put the stud up though? There we go, and then covering it in with some plates. That's actually interesting. I didn't even notice that the last time. Is that little printed Batman tile just kind of slides in a little slot where that little gray triangle tile is from before, which I believe means underneath here, I don't know if you can pop it up, but it is where that heart plate is. So it really is a heart and Batman. Alright, make sure we get that headlight brick and that 1x1 round plate with the bar really connected there. And then fill it in with a few plates. We'll be doing bag 6. Moving on to what I think is going to be our last bag of today. We're at 2.5 hours. Making a pretty good time there. Alright, let's do a bird's eye view. Batman. Try to switch back to our main camera. Hope that should give you a better look. Now you've got the curves on both sides. This thing is very massive though, so it is kind of difficult to see the entire thing at once there. But yeah, very solid so far. You can kind of just hold it from the back here and swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Alright, so I'm going to open up bag number 7. So it looks like we're going to start adding some of the detail onto like the surface of the wings, paving the way for the cockpit. We do have our second minifig. Will be coming together here right at the midway point of the build. We have a whole lot of 1x2 grill tiles. It's going to be a regular barbecue. Lots of larger bricks than I was expecting. I thought there was going to be a lot of smaller elements here. There are some big bricks in addition to little tiles. Right, let's see if we can move some of these over a little bit. There we go. One thing I've noticed, you know, we had that color coding when we had the Technic frame early on. And if you look real close, you can see the green of one of those Technic bricks and maybe the red of the other one kind of sticking through there. Which, like, in the final model, you're probably not going to be able to see it too much, but like, as I'm building it now and I see it, now I know I'm always going to see it as I continue building. So it's a little annoying. All right, let's go ahead, turn off that giveaway link, put our picture back on. And find winner number 3. Dollar, congratulations. You've won a Jin Urso buildable figure. Of course, you know the drill, bud. We'll send you an email, you send us your address, and we send you a prize. Easy peasy. All right, starting out. Bag 7 is our second minifigure. The Goon. Find a pair of black minifigure legs amidst all of these other black parts. Alright, so here is the Goon. It's got plain black legs, but a nicely printed purple jacket with the Joker's face and some playing cards on the right shoulder. And a little bit of detail on the back. You can see he's got a single-sided head because he has no hair. He's got those awesome glasses and that lovely 80s mustache. And he's got his boombox for some sick beats. I feel like that would go well with the Lego Movie Batman, right? He likes to rock out. Let's try get some of these large bricks out of here. So I find the smaller bricks that are the ones I need. Not sure how well this stuff is going to show up on camera because we're putting lots of black pieces on a solid black surface. I think we're going to be, if not actually assembling the flaps in this bag, we're putting on the attachment points for them with these 1x2 plates with the clips. So these tiles are adding like these nice little ridges, which just kind of give like a little bit of texture here. Kind of a nice little touch. Yes, so this step calls for 43 of those 1x2 grill tiles, and that's only for this half. So presumably the other half needs another 43. So I'm going to be putting on those tiles for a while. Non-grill tile parts are in this bag. Get those out of here. Zoom in so you can see all this magnificent grill tile work. Yeah, sometimes it's just the right piece for the texture you're trying to get. So, no need to do anything fancy. Although, can't imagine from an aerodynamics perspective that having all these grills on the surface would really do a lot for your aerodynamics and your lift. All right, lovely. Now time for the other side. Let's just dump those out there. Boo-boo there. I'll have to come back with a brick separator and fix that. Hopefully that is easier to pop. All right, lovely. I got myself scared there. We're flipping it around. I'm like, wait, did I put all those tiles on the wrong part of the wings? Really hope we do something with the insides here. You can see the little tan bit showing out. I'm not sure how we're going to cover that up, but I assume we will at some point. Oh, it's time for our first 2 stickers of the build. Since I guess we're working on some of the interior cockpit details here. Going on the sides of these 2x8 gray slopes. So there is one control panel. Goes right there. Oh, flipping this around again. Interesting that these bricks here are actually overhanging this edge by a stud. There's like a brick thickness underneath there. Certainly seems like an odd design. Like, why isn't there something underneath? I think structurally speaking it's fine. Oh, this plate is overhanging too. Just makes you wonder if that's just kind of like to save space, or if there's going to be like a Technic axle or something going under there for some reason, or like a track. Alright, doing some work on the tail here with a bunch of snot brackets. And then doing kind of an offset, since pretty much everything has been even studs. We're attaching this piece to this 2x2 at the rounded end, just so you kind of get that little pointy tail aspect. So it like all narrows down to a point. We are not quite at 3 hours into our stream, making pretty good progress on bag 7 here, so I think we will do bag 8 today as well, and then probably call it quits there. Just because we're making such good progress. Alright, little spike to attach onto there. Really flesh out that pointy tail on the bat. Things up here, running low on parts in bag 7. There's a lot of little tiles and wedges to go. Looks like this is gonna be the last step in this bag. Mainly because I've been doing things symmetrically. This is one of those things where it's like, this is going to be the same on both sides. Why don't you just tell us that? Some rare splashes of color on the surface here. Some gray, actually a silver drill tile and some little gray quarter circles. And obviously there's been plenty of color as we've been building, but the final model maybe isn't going to have quite so much color. Alright, I just get to flip through the instructions, so catch up with what I've already done. And on to our last bag for today, bag number 8. Looks like we're going to be doing some cool textures in the back here. Some like kind of fins or veins. Going to start getting the bat head shape up at the top and then kind of finish out a lot of this area as well. Alright, so you can see we kind of got these stacked wedge plates. So we started by offsetting by 2 studs, then by 1, so you kind of have this gradual little curve there. And these are going on the tail. That's a really cool effect to really help give it that bat shape. Alright, now Batman, flip around to this end. Hey there, Mavlock. Ooh, a light box and a pro camera. Very nice. Can't wait to see the mocks. And yes, this is pretty massive. Kind of almost surprisingly so, right? Because again, like in the film, it's like it's not that big. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive. It's been a while since I watched the movie, but I'm pretty sure that like Michael Keaton actually is not sitting in the Batwing when you see it on the screen. I think that's just like literally like an upper half of like almost like a G.I. Joe or something. So like I don't know that an actual human can fit in the prop, so it's like it's really not that big. And yeah, here we are building this giant build. some more kind of like vein fin things. Give it some interesting texture. Alright, now 28 these little curves. Presumably all of the ones in this bag. So let's just get them all out of here. Looks like by the time we wrap up, which should be soon, I think after I finish maybe this page of instructions, I'll put up our giveaway link for the last giveaway for today. This thing, we shouldn't have too many colors showing that won't be visible in the final model. So that's kind of cool. Oh, okay, so this step takes a lot more parts than I thought it was going to, so we'll go ahead and get that giveaway link up now. All right, and that is going to wrap things up for today. Just turn off our picture-in-picture. Take a look at this thing. All right, it's pretty awesome. Definitely seeing the shaping of that, that bat symbol. Obviously, we do have a bit more work to do on the front here before we really get that going. But the bottom, like the back, it looks pretty like finished almost down here, and definitely looks like the Batwing or the Batman symbol. Bottom looking pretty good. There is this tan showing up that I assume we're going to cover up at some point, just so the bottom is all nice and clean. We can see we've got the place for the stand and the hook to hang it on a wall. Maybe this week I will plan ahead and figure out where that that hook needs to go. I think with this much done, I can probably plan that pretty good. And actually, doing it as it is now, where I have access to that here, make it a lot easier to figure out where that nail needs to go, because I can just kind of like shove a pencil or a little nail in there and make a mark on the wall. So if you're thinking about getting this set and hanging it on a wall, maybe consider, before you're done with the set, figuring out where it's going to go. I am noticing that this edge here is a little loose, so I'm going to see what is up with that if I didn't like attach something properly. That seems like it's pretty good. Seems like it's something on the front here, probably where that headlight brick, yeah, there we go. If that headlight brick and that espresso piece aren't lined up properly, it does make it a little loose here, so you gotta be careful with that. But so far, yeah, a lot of fun, great building. Still got a lot more work to do on the cockpit here. We just have the control panels, but obviously there's gonna need to be a seat and some other stuff going on there. But yeah, loving little fin details here. And then the back, the tail is really cool with all the fins. I think that's coming out really sharp. Especially how we do the offset, so that it goes from 2 studs down to 1 stud to really get down to a point. So yeah, that is the Batwing, day 1. We will be back next weekend to continue that build. We do have one more giveaway to do, so let me go ahead and turn off that link. And then we're going to close the polls, so to speak, in just a sec. And then we're going to pick our last winner for today. Why do you keep doing that to me? All right, winner number 4, Lover of Sandwich. Congratulations, you've won a Rey buildable figure from, I think it's the Last Jedi version of Rey. Maybe not the best movie, although some people will disagree, but whatever, to each their own. But still, hey, get some nice gray contraction shells out of it, even if you're not a fan of Star Wars or that set, or that movie, still a good set. All right, yeah, so we'll be back next weekend. I'm thinking probably Saturday, but stay tuned to our social media channels and the BZPower front page for where we'll make the final announcement as far as where and when you can expect to see us finish. So until then, this is going to be Black 6 from BZPower, wishing you all a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe, get vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, please wear a mask, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.